All right, we're back. This is the Hollywood Entrepreneur Show. We are talking Disney strategy here. Did you know there was a big new strategy of Disney? Did you even know this?
I didn't know there was a new one.
The strategy is just make tons of money.
Well, I think they're doing very well. I think they're following strategy as planned.
Yeah, that whole buy the Star Wars thing is kind of working out for them. But no, there's a more specific of a strategy here. What they're doing is they're going back with all their classic movies, talking cartoons, the animated movies. They are remaking them with real people, rather than being animated. And of course, they're including a lot of graphics. So of course, the first one they did with this was Cinderella.
I
don't know if you saw that or not. I saw it. Yeah. It was a really good film. Took all the kids to see it. But it worked.
Yeah.
And they're going to do this with a whole bunch of them. The next big one is called The Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book.
Yeah. So they have full on the big python snakes, the tigers, the panthers, the bears, the orangutans, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And they're going to do this, I think, with Beauty and the Beast and Sleeping Beauty. They're going to go through all these and they're going to redo them. And what's interesting is the script is pretty much the same. They're keeping up with the same thing. They're just doing it with real people.
Humans and graphics.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
watch for that. That's going to be fun. It worked for Cinderella. Next one up is Jungle Book. Speaking of animation, kind of a interesting story here. You always got to ask yourself, why? Mm-hmm. Why would you do this? It's funny because we act like these things that get created out of books or movies are these real people, but they're not. I know, breaking news, this just in. Basically, the writer decided to make them a certain way. Mm-hmm. So there's this news headline that says, Jughead is asexual.
Wait,
so we're talking about Archie, Archie, Veronica, these comic books. Yeah. So Jughead, they're in a new issue coming out. They are going to make it very clear. I don't know exactly how they're going to do this. That Jughead is asexual.
Can you define for our viewers what asexual is?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of questions out there.
Yeah, and you probably don't know either, do you?
Yeah.
So asexual means that you really have no sexual desire or sex drive.
Okay.
Which has gotten to be kind of a, interestingly popular or new topic.
Yeah.
Any idea who really made this topic famous here in the last few years?
The last few years, no.
Sheldon Cooper off of The Big Bang Theory. If you want to see a good example of what asexual is,
you're right.
His character is asexual. He has he respects a beautiful woman. He likes women.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same way Jughead is.
Yeah.
In the different comic books, he's had some different dates and things like that. But Sheldon Cooper is considered asexual. He can take it or he can leave it. It's not really a big deal to him. So why?
I don't know. That's my question.
I got some ideas. I got some theories here, but isn't it interesting?
Let's hear. I want to hear your theory.
Well, nowadays, you want to, first of all, just to get attention. I mean, I think this is a PR thing. I mean, I think a lot of people have forgotten about these comic books. Mm-hmm. And so why not come out and make one character with this personality or attribute or whatever? I mean, J.K. Rowling came out and she said, "Oh, Dumbledore is gay," or it's like, really? Yeah. Does that really matter? Does it really need to be that way?
Yeah.
And people always make it sound like it's them.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you made them that way. Why did you make them that way? But in their head, they create these characters. And I've written some books, and I love to create, and I do kind of know what it means to have a character and develop it. And as you develop it, you think, well, if this is this way and this is that way, then they're probably also just like this.
But
isn't it weird, though?
Well, I think what's weird is whenever you go along and you never announce that Jughead is asexual, and then all of a sudden, by the way, Jughead is asexual. Like, why now? Did it really just come to that point where there's nothing else?
Well, he is 75 years old. I think it's been around for 75 years.
So he's been around 75 years asexual, and now they're just going to announce it to the world?
Yeah.
What impeccable timing.
Do you think Disney's going to pick up on this? Do you think Disney's going to come out there and say, Sleeping Beauty really likes women, that's why she locked herself up in the... She's waiting for,
It's possible. Well, on Maleficent, There was a little twist at the end. Did you ever watch Maleficent? How the villain ended up being the friend and love, and so it took away from that romantic type of storyline, which is possible. So I think anything's possible at
Well,
this
even
point.
Frozen did that a little bit too.
Yeah.
It was really more about the sisters in the
Yeah.
end than it was anything else. So
Yeah.
I think those storylines are good, especially because people are looking for a twist. But I find this strange that more and more people are going out of their way to make these people this way. Look, I would love to believe because they want to make people feel more included, or the world is different, shapes, colors, sizes, beliefs, whatever. So we want to make something for everyone.
Right.
But I can't help but to think that they're just kind of panning to the
I
audience
think
for a
so.
PR spin.
You know what? Maybe the author, you have to consider the source. Maybe the people writing this, they feel like they can identify with that, so then they want to put it into their character.
I don't know whether to tip my hat to this Hollywood entrepreneur and say, good move. You're going to sell a lot of that issue. You're going to sell a lot of that issue.
You really think so?
Well, it's got to become a collector's item or something. I wonder if 25 years from now they say, well, 25 years ago, we found out that Jughead is asexual. He was the first comic book character to be asexual. Can you name another comic book character who's asexual?
No.
So he was the first. Is
So
this
then,
a brilliant
but
move?
Is this a trend? Are we going to have comic book characters or characters ending up being gay or transvestites, or,
Transgender, asexual.
You know what I mean? Going through the list, because we already have Caitlyn Jenner. And then so now we have cartoons and comics being asexual. So I think it's something we're going to see in the future, don't you? I mean, I think so.
I think we are.
Viewers, what do you think?
And that worries me. There are some very, there are some comic books out there that, they're very much adult.
Yeah.
They're drawn that way. But Archie, that's kind of for kids. It's supposed to be
It
sort
is.
of family. Of course, asexuals, you're literally saying he doesn't have a sex drive.
Yeah.
So I guess, is that a safe pick? If you want to get different and crazy outside, they could have made him something else.
Yeah.
They could have chosen something else.
Yeah.
Not that any of them's bad, but maybe it is. I don't know. It just seems weird. It just doesn't seem right. Am I wrong on this? I think the letters are being written right now to me.
Jughead is representing some viewers out there, so I'm sure they can identify and they say, yeah, I'm asexual, and so someone's being represented.
Well, let's skip to something that I have absolutely no segue for. DMX almost dies of a drug overdose.
Oh no!
How about that next in the news headlines? Yeah, seriously.
What a transition.
Why I wanted to bring it up, I know. I tried to go from Disney to animated, Jughead, asexual, and how do we go to there?
Jughead to DMX.
Let's just go right to DMX, who almost dies. No, I thought that there's another story here.
Yeah.
He was saved by the police, right?
Yeah.
Here's a black man, overdoses, he's a celebrity. Police saved him. NYPD saved the
him.
guy.
Thank you for
right?
pointing that out.
Can we get some good press here?
Let's get some good press going.
Let's get some good press here going.
It's stuff like that needs to be headlined.
It does. It does need to be headlined.
Because there's so much attention to the negative.
Poor Candace Cameron Bure. We talked about Full House a little bit. She's kind of making a comeback. I think Full House is kind of giving her a little bit of a comeback. But she's on The View.
Yeah.
She's definitely the minority there, getting beat up a little bit.
Yeah.
They take issue with her, throw her under the bus a little bit. At least that's the feeling. That's kind of the headline. I don't watch The View.
Yeah.
But if I'm skimming the headlines and looking at a few stories here, it kind of seems like she's the lone wolf there, so to speak, or the odd one out. And latest thing is this camera comes on and says, well, I don't really like it when they say certain things. One of the words she doesn't like is bitch.
Yeah.
And so they're, the way they use that and talk about it. So Whoopi says she's cut down using that word.
That's very considerate of her.
Joy is saying that she only says it every once in a while.
Very considerate.
I'm wondering what this does for Candace's brand. Is it? In some ways, it's a good family brand and a very conservative person. But in other ways, I fear that it's starting to backfire her a little bit, because maybe making her sound a little bit whiny or difficult. And I fear for her because I don't think she's really like that. I think she's just been put in a terrible situation. She's trying to stand up for what she believes, and now her brand and her image is kind of hurting because...
You think it's hurting?
Well, I think with her people, maybe not.
Yeah.
But with them, it is. So Candace, hang in there. We love you. Hang in there. When we come back, we're going to talk about Grammy gift bags, swag bags, a $220,000 swag bag. We'll tell you what's in it when we come back.